It appears the warring factions in the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has reached a point of no return. The PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, insisted that he cannot force the national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu, to resign. Atiku appealed to the aggrieved camp of Governor Nyesom Wike to retrace their steps after they reiterated their demand for resignation of Ayu and pulled out of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. A lot of people would have expected that at this time, at this crucial time, these leaders should, have gotten over this.
Well, I think, you see, this is one of the most difficult problems for the PDP, because we have two parties that have taken extreme positions. And if you look at it, each one has its own merit. If you look at Wike, for instance, he came second, and not just a humiliating second. He came a honorable second. I think the difference was about 134. In fact, if Tambuwal had not drawn for Atiku, the likelihood that Wike would have won that election, was very high. And I think somebody coming from Rivers State to make that kind of historical statement embarrassed, the hegemony that we usually think that, if there's presidential election, they will use their vote, they will use their power. But this man came from Rivers, and I don't think that had ever happened for a very long time. So for that kind of effort, I think, why choosing your VP? There should have been consultation. In fact, I would have expected Atiku to go and meet Wike. Okay, I don't want to pick you. Can you nominate a candidate for me? If I happen to be Atiku, that's all I would have done. But in this case, I think Wike is claiming that there was no consultation.
But the candidate has the final say in all of it.
Yeah, I know. But you see, politics is about consultation, it's about so that you don't have this kind of problem you're having now. Wike is saying that he was not consulted, probably read it in newspapers, and as a major stakeholder that came second, there should have been discussion with him, and it's also, the other argument is that, look, the presidential candidate of PDP is from the north, the party chairman is from the north, the chairman of BOT, until recently, just resigned, is from the north. That is not fair. And he also said that Atiku came to him 10:30 a.m. on Monday after the primaries and told him that, look, Ayu is going. Give me your, tell me what you want. And he said, okay, once I assured him that Ayu will resign and someone else will replace him, then there will be peace. And I think I'm not impressed by the statements accredited to Ayu by mainstream media that he said when they formed the PDP, these people were children. I think that was contemptuous, because children, he was also a child at the time. And children would definitely grow up to be adults. And for somebody to be a governor of a state, you can't describe him as a nobody. And to even almost win that presidential election. And if you look at the South, of all the states there, Rivers has about 3.5 million votes, followed by Delta, then followed by Anambra. And of course, Wike in recent times has emerged as a formidable political force, in that. So it's somebody that can always push over. So I think both parties should look for a way to reconcile instead of allowing the two.
All right. Now, this is not the first time Atiku will be saying, when it comes to Ayu's removal, it boils down to the party's constitution. If Ayu gets removed today, would it still favor the South?
I think from the constitution, there is a process by which Ayu can be removed. I think that is the point Atiku is making. But the simple solution to this is for Ayu himself to tender his resignation.
Does not look like he's ready to
do
that.
So that is the simple solution. But it doesn't look like he's interested in doing that. For me, the opposition parties should be rejoicing over what is happening in PDP. And we shouldn't bother ourselves about it. Let half of them be fighting with themselves. Then the opposition should seize the opportunity to win them over. Because for me, if as a party you cannot even organize yourself, and you are now telling us that you want to come and organize Nigeria, how can we trust you? Your house is divided, you can't even settle it. Now you say you want to now organize a whole country. How do we trust you? How come that they cannot work together? as a party. And the thing I get from all these politicians is that, look, let's face it, all of them are self-centered.
Just for their selfish
They are it's all for their selfish ends. Right. And they are not going, they are not thinking about Nigeria, and they are not thinking about anybody. They are only thinking about themselves. Otherwise, the crisis in PDP shouldn't have come to this level, to the point that even must the Atiku respond. He didn't have to respond.
I think it was important that he responded.
No, he didn't have to respond because the issue was not directed at him. They only made a call that we are pulling out of this campaign, and that what he ought to have done was to have organized themselves. They should have done a peace reconciliatory meetings.
All right. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Before we went on that break, we were talking about PDP's internal crisis at the national level. And like I asked Madam Olabisi, would it still favor the South if Ayu gets removed now?
Yes, definitely. We know these things about positions, they are not essentially about addressing fundamental policies that affect the masses. But the context of interest of individuals in the political sector, of course, if they pick somebody from party chairman, maybe from any part of the South, I think it will go a long way to address the problem. And I think one thing that should also interest us is that Ayu is from Benue State. The leader of that party, PDP in Benue State, which is the governor of Benue State, is supporting Wike. So it means even in Ayu's own base, that support is not there. There is that, feeling that, look, allow step down. And I think people should see the party as bigger than individual ambition. And it's been there for some time. But like, she said, if they want the whole thing to go like this, it's going to, the APC will harvest from the contradictions in the PDP.
All right, so the newly appointed chairman of PDP Board of Justice, Adolphus Wabara, has begun crucial moves to save the party. At least, how far do you think it can go?
From the pronouncements of the Wike faction, you can see that there is nothing that Wabara is going to do that is likely to change their position, because that position of party chairmanship moving away from the north is very crucial. You see, when PDP announced that it structured its party chairmanship position to the north during their convention at that time, a lot of people were confused, because traditionally the party's presidential candidates and the party chairman do not come from the same region. At that time, people ask a lot of questions, that now that you have zoned this thing to the north, does it mean that you are going to pick a southerner as your presidential candidate?
Away from that as a nation?
Well, we should have, but that is their party's constitution. And the party has the right to its constitution.
And I don't think it's restricted to the PDP alone. I think it's also applicable to APC.
Well, so if that is what they agreed to, and that is the point that the Wike faction is making, that look, if we have all agreed that, I think they do that in order to give everybody a sense of belonging in the party. So I think that is the major thing. I don't know what Wabara is going to do that can make these Wike supporters to back down on their demand for the removal of Ayu. But I think also that the party should respect its constitution. All
right, Mr. Adewale, your final take on this?
Well, I think this problem in PDP will have been resolved, if not for rhetorics of arrogance, from people who are saying, probably without Wike, they can go all along. They can do without him. And I think if we're in that position...
Can they not do without him?
Well, let us see whether they can do without 3.5 million votes in Rivers State. Let us see whether it's possible for them. And somebody of Wike's status, that we have seen what he has done in the past, in terms of asserting himself as a force in that region. Let us see whether it's going to be easy for them.
All right, thank you very much.
That's the problem. You see, when we're asking about the power of the governors, should the governor decide what happens to 3.5 million people?
Thank you very much, Mr. Adewale, for coming on the program today. Thank you, Madam Olabisi, for your perspective on the program.
You.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for watching.